Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Tuesday, September the 25th. We have a 14-game MLB slate for Tuesday. We'll be talking about the pitchers I like on this Tuesday slate, batters I like, stacks, BVP plays. MLB season is winding down. This is our final week of MLB. My last MLB video for the season will be on Friday. Don't think I'm going to be making videos for the playoffs, but we'll just kind of have to see. I know during the week when there's going to be no NFL, I'll probably get a little bored, might throw up some MLB playoff videos, but obviously not sure. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the MLB videos this season. It really hasn't hit me yet that MLB's coming down to an end. Got about four more regular season videos to get out for you guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed them. But let's go ahead and start looking at this Tuesday slate. I do want to let you guys know that my NFL Week 4 picks video will be out Tuesday around 12, 1 o'clock, sometime in that time range, Eastern time. Going to get my picks video out then, so make sure you guys check that out. Would appreciate it. Give me some feedback on that video. Always like to hear you guys' feedback. But yeah, pitching on this 14-game Tuesday slate, we have 4 guys that are over 10K on DraftKings. We got Scherzer, Buehler, Trevor Bauer, and Noah Syndergaard. And just looking at these 4 guys, I really only have interest in one, and that's Max Scherzer. Really like Max Scherzer here against the Marlins. Only reason I'm not going to include him in the 5 plays is because he's $12,800, and that's just a really expensive price tag to pay for Scherzer. I don't think I'm going to be on the cheap stacks today. Really the only cheap stack I like is probably going to be the Twins. They do have a 5.3 implied run total versus Spencer Turnbull, and they've got really cheap bats in their lineup. If you're going to play Scherzer today, if you play Scherzer today, you're going to have to pair him with a cheap SP2. We'll talk about some of the options. You do have some cheap options that you can go to. Robbie Erlin's 5,400, and he's facing the Giants in AT&T. You got on the other side of that game, Chris Stratton, 6,900, facing the Padres at home in AT&T. Those are probably the guys you're going to play if you play Scherzer. Then the teams you're probably going to be looking to stack are teams like the Twins. I don't love the Twins on this slate, so that's kind of why I'm going to avoid Scherzer. I really like some of the expensive stacks, and I can't get to those stacks if I play Scherzer. Walker Buehler just seems a little bit too expensive for me. I just rather play Scherzer. But lately, the Diamondbacks have been rolling out some really bad lineups. Paul Goldschmidt hasn't been playing lately. Pollock's been getting some days off. Escobar's been getting some days off. David Peralta's been getting days off. If they roll out another bad lineup today, we'll definitely have to up my exposure to Buehler, but right now I don't feel like I'm going to be on him that much. Trevor Bauer, I would love here against the White Sox, but we don't know how many pitches Bauer's going to throw. Coming off the DL in his last start, he only threw about 2 innings, about 30 pitches. I don't expect him to go more than 50, 60 pitches here. And obviously, if Bauer's only going to throw 50 to 60 pitches, we can't play him. And then Noah Syndergaard, I just don't want to pay $10,200 for Syndergaard, facing a Braves team that is just really good, doesn't strike out. Syndergaard just hasn't shown a ton of upside as of late. So if I'm paying up, it's Scherzer and Walker Buehler, depending on what kind of lineup the Diamondbacks roll out. But let's go ahead and look at this mid-range. This is where I think we have a lot of plays today. You got Masahiro Tanaka, who's been showing a lot of upside. He does get a Rays team that definitely has some Ks in its lineup. He's facing them in Tropicana, a good pitcher's park. We also have David Price, who's pitching at home against the Orioles. Just a great matchup for David Price. I really like him here at 9,500. There are some really bad weather concerns here. Well, I don't know if it's really bad weather, but at least on Fantasy Labs, it's got a red right now with the rain. Temps 68 degrees, 78% chance of precipitation. So if David Price is not going to be in play for us, or if this game gets rained out, if it's going to get postponed, or if it's going to get delayed and Price might come out early, then we obviously have a clear pivot in Tanaka. But if this weather is good enough for us to play Price, I really like him here against the Orioles. Just obviously pitchers against the Orioles. We saw it with Eovaldi on Monday. Price should put up a pretty good outing here as well, as long as the weather cooperates. But if it doesn't, go to Tanaka. He's only 300 more, and he's pitching in a dome, so he's a clear pivot if you want to get off of Price. But I do really like Price here against the Orioles. Great matchup. And then in the 7K range, a lot of plays here I like. Matt Shoemaker's facing a Rangers team against them at home. The Rangers are going to be on the road here. I think Shoemaker is a possible consideration at 7,600. Touki Toussaint, I love here against the Mets. Toussaint has just shown a ton of upside when he's pitched this year for the Braves. Love him here. 7,500. You pair him with Price, and you're still left with plenty of salary to pay up for bats. Just looking at Toussaint, how he's done in some of his starts this year. Last game against the Cardinals, he did start through 5 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, did get 8 strikeouts, 23 DraftKings points. I know he started earlier this year. I believe it was against the Marlins, did really well. I think he's faced the Marlins twice this year. Against the Red Sox, really, really tough matchup. He still wasn't that bad, 12.9 DK points. Against Arizona, 14.6 DK points. Obviously, this is a great matchup here against the Mets. Just a really bad team, so I like Toussaint at 7,500. If you don't want to play him, you could look to a guy like Shoemaker. You could look to Chris Stratton, who's facing the Padres at home at 6,900. I think Robbie Erlin down here at 5,400 is also in consideration. Just in that ballpark, he's 5,400. He's facing a really bad Giants team. We definitely can consider him. But I like Toussaint. I think he has upside. So I'll be pairing him with David Price in a ton of lineups today. But I think that's it for a pitcher. At least the pitchers I feel like I'm going to be playing today. So let's go ahead and look at the bats. Definitely love the Red Sox here. As long as this game doesn't get postponed, I think a full Red Sox stack is in play today. So we'll start off at the outfield where I love Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi. Just don't need to say much about these guys. For one, or at least one thing, Benintendi seemed a little bit too cheap, 4,900. Did want to mention that. Mookie Betts is really expensive. He's 6,200, but we've got the salary to fit him in. So I like both of these guys. They're facing Jimmy Yacobonis, who is just not a good pitcher for the Orioles. I believe this will be a bullpen game for the Orioles. I'm not sure how deep Yacobonis is going to pitch. But when he's pitched this year, he has not been good. These Red Sox bats are just great plays today. We don't have a total on this game, but I would imagine the Red Sox total is going to be north of 5.5 runs. Might even reach 6 just with how bad Yacobonis is and with how bad this Orioles bullpen is. So I love Mookie, love Benintendi, JD, Bogarts, Moreland, Devers. I'll have full stacks of the Red Sox today. And then maybe even in lineups where I play Scherzer, I'll probably stack like the bottom of the order, like the 5 through 7, 5 through 8, because they are pretty cheap once you get past Bogarts. You can find some value in the Red Sox lineup, and I do love them here versus Yacobonis. Mookie, obviously he's a great play. You can play this guy every day, no matter what his price is. Dude just crushes the ball. He steals bases. Just a great fantasy option. Same goes for Benintendi. The guy can hit homers. He can steal bases. Just a great play overall. Facing a righty, so he'll have the platoon advantage. Much better against righties than he is lefties. Love Benintendi. Love Mookie. Great plays on this slate. Then looking for value, if you're looking for sort of a cheap stack, I do like the Angels here. They're facing Giovanni Gallardo, which it was in Texas, but even at home in Angels Stadium, the Angels have a 4.8 implied run total today versus Gallardo. You got Cole Calhoun leading off at 3,400. You also have Jose Fernandez at 3,100, projected about second. And I really like Fernandez as a value option. Like I said, he's only 3,100. He's facing a terrible pitcher in Gallardo. A guy's just not good. You could for sure do like a 4-man Red Sox stack and a 4-man Angels stack, especially with those top 2 guys with how cheap they are. Obviously, you probably can't stack the Red Sox with Trout, but you could probably play like Mookie, Benintendi, Calhoun, Fernandez, maybe like Angelton Simmons. If you want to go to the bottom of the order, guys, you can, but I'll probably be shying away from them. It's mostly the 1 through 5 from the Angels that I really like, and obviously that top 2 with Calhoun and Fernandez, both sub 4K, great values on this slate. If you are looking for some cheap punt options, either at first base or in the outfield, Calhoun and Fernandez are both plays you can consider. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for Tuesday's MLB slate. 14 games. David Price, Touki Toussaint, Jose Fernandez, Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi. So quickly going over stacks. I really have already mentioned them, but it's the Angels for me, not number 1. The Red Sox were definitely number 1. I like the Angels as a cheap stack. You do have some other high totals on this slate. You got the Nationals with a 5 total versus Jeff Brigham. You got the Astros with a 5.2 implied total versus Gaviglio. Those are probably more secondary stacks for me. Primary stacks are definitely the Red Sox, the Angels when you factor in their price. Twins bats, if you want to play Max Scherzer, I think the Twins are definitely a stack you could look to. Coors Field, I don't think I'll be going there today, just because you have 2 pretty decent pitchers, Bettis and Velasquez. Bettis isn't great, but it seems like the dude never gets rocked. Velasquez is pretty solid, but these Coors bats are really, really expensive. I think I'd actually play Red Sox bats before I went to Coors today. So probably going to shy away there. I'd love the Dodgers here versus Matt Cook, but these guys are insanely expensive. Jock Peterson's nearly 6K. Justin Turner's 5,100. Muncie's 5,300. If there are lineups where I don't play Red Sox bats, then I'll definitely look to the Dodgers. But with how expensive the Dodgers are, I think I'd put the Red Sox over them. If they were cheaper, I'd have a lot more interest. But with these prices, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to a ton of Dodgers today. So I think that is it for stacks. Let's go ahead and look at BVP for this 14-game slate. Talk about some of the BVP plays. There are a decent amount, so I will just cover the ones with about a 20 at-bat sample. So we'll start off with Michael Brantley, who has gone 15 for 44 with 2 home runs against James Shields. Edwin Encarnacion has gone 9 for 38 with 3 home runs versus James Shields. Yadier Molina has gone 8 for 23 versus Gio Gonzalez. Down here at the bottom, Jonathan Lucroy has gone 20 for 49 with 2 home runs versus Mike Leake. Those are all the BVP plays with a 20 at-bat sample. If you do want to look at all these, feel free to pause the video here and look at them. But I think that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this video did help you. If you enjoyed, just make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe down below. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out my NFL video on Tuesday, my Week 4 picks. Would appreciate it. Good luck tonight on this MLB slate, and we will see you back again on Wednesday. Peace.